Hello people, I'm Ginnymetheral and I am a 4th generation witch. We are here today with the ever popular Almanac series, which is all about witchcraft in September. As always with these videos, what I would like to do is to give you a general witchcraft overview of September, and then we'll go into the nitty-gritty detail and look at what witchcraft you can practice when throughout which days of September. With that introduction over, let's get straight on to the overview. September, as we all know, and most of us can remember from our childhood, is about the harvest. The harvest is coming in still and will almost be over. We are now looking at the storing and picking of apples and pears and fruits and berries for the use over the coming dark months. As a result, September is a very busy month and there is a real feeling of new broom about September. We have the start of the new school year, the new academic year in September. A lot of people also get new jobs in September. More houses are bought and sold in September than in any other month of the year in the UK. There is definitely a sweep away, let's get on with life feel about it. This new broom feel also extends to other religions. For example, the Jewish, the Rastafarian, all hold New Year's celebrations in the month of September. New Year, new broom. September is the time of nuts. I know, it sounds rude almost in itself, doesn't it? In times gone by, people would go out and collect all the nuts from the hedgerows, the cob nuts, the hazelnuts, the walnuts, whatever nuts were abounding at that time. As a result, the word nutting, as in to go out and collect nuts, got a much saucier overtone. And this led to an old English proverb saying, "Good year for nuts, good year for babies." I wonder why. So, get nutting, everyone. There is an issue in September for fertility. And if you haven't seen my fertility video, I'll put it up here for you. Because the upcoming equinox on I think it's the 23rd this year, brings about balance in the universe and harmony, this is the time to get pregnant. In fact, I think one of my babies might have been conceived on the equinox. Makes for a very spiritual child. With the gathering in of the harvest in September, there's loads of very pagan traditions. One of my favourite is very extant in the West Country, which is where I live, in the southwest of the UK, and that is burning the old witch. This is where the last few standing stalks of corn are gathered in and tied up together into a mini sheath. This is then set fire to, and everyone stands around going, "Burn the old witch! Burn the old witch!" I think it's got something to do with putting the fertility back in the ground, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's just that they wanted to burn witches. Anyway, much fun to be had. Likewise, it is also the time of year when you bring in your corn dollies from the field. I've got mine here, and don't they look pretty? The corn dollies had been left at the field gates so the corn spirit could move into them. And now's a time to bring that corn spirit indoors and keep them safe until the spring, where you would take them out and plough them back into the land, therefore reintroducing the corn spirit back into its natural environment. When this was done, there was always the harvest home supper, and many of you may still be practicing this. Harvest home suppers really are just an excuse to get really quite pissed, and lots of babies are born 9 months after a harvest home supper. Mars and Jupiter, the two wonderful planets of our solar system, are going to be high in the sky in September. This is where they're shining brightly, and we can use their gravitational magnetic energy in our spells. Particularly good spells to bring Mars energy into are spells for clear thinking, Mars is very black and white in its thinking. The red energy that we get from this planet is also protective. So what you should be looking at when using Mars in your spellcraft is for protection spells, for clear thinking spells, and should you really want to do it, for warcraft spells. Jupiter, on the other hand, is all about your consciousness. So should you wish to improve your third eye, you can use the magnetic gravitational energy from Jupiter to help bring about that wonderful opening of your mind. So that was my overview. Now let's move on to the daily witchcraft practices that you might wish to perform throughout the month. Starting, of course, with the 1st of September. This is the start of meteorological autumn, which we witches have already celebrated autumn with the passing of Lammas or Lunasa. And so this is just a date in the calendar, but I thought I'd tell you about it so that if you wanted to, you could go around saying today is the start of autumn. Moving swiftly on, our next date in the calendar is the 10th, and of course this is the night of the full moon. The full moon this month is in Pisces. What this means is that it brings huge creativity and imagination into your spells. If you wish to cast a spell to help you, say, write a new book, compose a new piece of music, paint a beautiful picture, now is the time to do it, because today the moon will be taken up with all its energy, and it's a great day for your creative imagination. The 12th of September is the day that they were performing the horn dance in Staffordshire in Abbots Bromley. Now, the horn dance is a movable feast and I'm going to have to read this to you because I can't remember it. It is on the Monday following the first Sunday after the 4th of the month. All I know is that this year it's on the 12th. This is obviously some pagan fertility ritual. There are teams of men who go round with white and black reindeer horns and perform rituals around the farm of Abbots Bromley. They have carbon dated these particular horns, which have been kept and have been used for literally hundreds upon hundreds of years. The horns themselves date from 1053. Now, possibly reindeer might have been extinct in this country then. We don't know. They were certainly in the country because they would have been bought over by the Vikings. So these are either naturalised English reindeer horns or they came from the Vikings. 1053 is literally the time of the Druids, so this has got to be something to do with it. A lot of writers go, oh no, it wasn't. But of course it was. Common sense will guide you in that direction. The dance is also performed with a Maid Marian figure. So remember your Robin Hood Maid Marian? Maid Marian is much older than Robin Hood, and she's sort of the personification of a forest virgin. I mean, we don't really know, but we do know that she has been written about far longer than Robin Hood ever was. The first actual written recordings of this are in the 13th century. So this is one of the most unbroken rituals that have been performed in Staffordshire for the last 900 years. And that is some ritual. The 16th of September is the time when the oyster catchers leave the Faroe Islands, and apparently they're very, very accurate on their timetables. The oyster catcher is the national bird of the Faroe Islands, and they now fly south and land with us in Morecambe Bay. You can set your watch by an oyster catcher, which is why I've put it in here, because I think that is quite magical. The 21st of September is known as Devil's Nutting Day. As I talked about previously, nutting has some rather saucy connotations with it. However, this is the day that brings on the first of the cold dews of the year. Winter is coming, as they say. 23rd of September is our autumn equinox, the equal night, equal day time of year. This is the great feast of Mabon, and I'm not going to go into too much detail here about Mabon because I will of course bring you a Mabon dedicated video for you to watch later on in the month. I just wanted to say, this is the second harvest that the Wiccans celebrate. This is the harvest of the fruits. And so it is a great time to decorate your altar with the wonderful fruits of the season and make an offering to the world in thanks. The 25th of September is the new moon in Libra. The new moon is the perfect time to make our dreams and hopes and plans for the future month. This new moon's energy is currently in Libra, and this means that all those tasks that involve a delicate negotiation and diplomacy should be set in motion at this time. The last date on our calendar is the 29th of September, which is Michaelmas Day. Michaelmas Day is named for the feast of St. Michael. St. Michael is very, very much a Christianised sun god of old. He has ley lines dedicated to him, the St. Michael's ley line. St. Michael was a very well-loved figure in English traditional folklore. He first started appearing, I think, in the 8th century, and this is where St. Michael's Mount in Cornwall is named after him. And of course, on the opposite shore in France, they have their Mont Saint-Michel, because that is where he was appearing in the 8th century, and there was a lot of trade between Mont Saint-Michel and St. Michael's Mount in those days. He's a well-loved Christianised sun god. It is on this day that you should harvest no more. You must have brought in your harvest by the 29th. St. Michael is said to be the angel who cast the devil out of heaven for being arrogant, rude, and just a general upstart, not a nice person. The devil then falls to earth and on this day lands on a blackberry bush. The blackberry bush prickle him and he goes ow, 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 stands up, curses the blackberries, spits on them, and therefore the blackberries from now on are forever sour and not fit for human consumption, which is a very important thing to remember, because should you eat a blackberry after the 29th of September, you will be offending the fairies, because it is their blackberries now, they're not for us. Let me know in the comments below if you follow any particular traditions for September. It might be your birthday and you might do a particular spell on your birthday. I would love to hear. Around the 10th of September, we're going to be doing my coven meeting. Do go to patreon.com Ginnymetheral for more information where you can discover what we get up to. The coven meeting is a thrilling ride and I do recommend it. Otherwise, please like and subscribe, because I really need that to continue working on this channel. Therefore,